China's rise in the last decades is evident, but no country is perfect. What challenges do you see in China's domestic, political, and social life?
Actually, as you said, all countries have their domestic challenges and other problems, this and that. China is a very special country. It's a vast country, the size of continent, with 1.4 billion people. If you look at the European continent, in average, a European country is a country with a population of roughly 14 million. So China is the size of 100 average European states putting together. You can imagine the kind of challenges we are faced with. Yeah. Yet, on the whole, the Chinese philosophy is every challenge also presents opportunity. I'll give an example. When Donald Trump launched trade war against China, it's a challenge. Many companies suffer from that, but we eventually cope with that. For instance, tech war launched by Donald Trump on China, its mainly had to do with chips. So now we produce our own chips in large amount. Last year, China became the world's largest producer and exporter of trade. Basically, low-end chips, all done by Chinese companies. Middle-end, half. High-end, China's coming, represented by DeepSeek and more. So both trade war, tech war became failures. It made China stronger. Yeah, we have many other challenges. For instance, now we are talking about this AI revolution. It's new challenge for Chinese education, for Chinese jobs, as with any other countries. So we're following this, we're trying to find out, what kind of, how to turn these challenges into opportunities.
Among other things, China's economic opening to the world led it to the position where it is now, the second biggest economy in the world. Some lawmakers from Shanghai proposed some weeks earlier that China should have to open its internet to the world in some places like free trade zones, universities, etc. Do you see that as an important step if that happens to the additional growth of China? Is that something that is maybe natural in future to happen?
When the United States was very strong in the internet business, China was very weak at that time. And China decided to build this called a war against or prevent American companies to really flooding Chinese market. So many people said, well, you need this firing war, you should tear down this wall. But in the end, you find these wars are at least temporarily necessary, because with this kind of temporary protection, Chinese internet industry grows up rapidly. Now it's on the par with the United States, if not more developed. Compared with Europe, it has no wars. In the end, European EU even did not have a search engine of its own. China has all the equivalents of US apps. But today, if you look at the major apps used in the United States, TikTok, Shein, Temu, and more are from China. Yeah. And concerning this war, interestingly, because of the US TikTok ban, many TikTok users flock to the Chinese Little Red Book website called Red Note, which means we enter the Chinese internet world with Chinese language, because with AI translation, no barrier. And millions, literally, netizens from both countries compare notes, young people, Z generation, and they first start comparing living standards in China and United States. From big data, the result is the Chinese live a better life than Americans. This is very important. I share this view. I've been to the United States very many times. Shanghai is much more developed than New York. So I said it's time, United States will raise wars and China will tear down the walls. It's already happening with Little Red Book. We have this confidence.
That was my next question.
Yes.
It was the first time that many Americans, many Chinese had the opportunity to talk to each other on that app. At least temporarily, I use it also. But do you see that Chinese internet opening up to the world in the future, and would that bring more prosperity, more innovation to China if that happens?
You think China has not been innovative enough? We already created so many apps for the world. TikTok.
There's always more space.
Of course, and then DeepSeek. The United States and Silicon Valley deeply worried because this monopoly of chips, monopoly of AI, business, open this monopoly, this very foundational monopoly is shaken. And don't forget that today's US economy is to a great extent depends on this kind of belief. Very much is a myth. US is very strong, the best in technology, and that's why we have the best performances of stock market. But all these find loopholes here and there. China can use 1/20th of its price and achieve the same kind of AI result, if not better. And the more Chinese companies similar to DeepSeek are coming, I'm pretty sure about. Chinese are very cautious people. We have one product or one company like that open to the world market. Many others are in the pipeline, I can tell you for sure.